The reason that self-improvement is BS is because you are taking all of the advice that the Bible gives in these little pieces, in books, in videos, in whatever, and it's all the same in the Bible, but you're taking out the whole soul of it, which is the connection with God, which is the most important part of all of it. So I'm in my late 20s now, and I have found alignment, which is the thing that I was missing as I was trying to self-improvement my way through my 20s. Watching the YouTube videos, reading the books, and it always seemed like this discipline battle with my mind. It felt like everything was such a fight. And I had this mentality that I was looking for freedom in the discipline. And it got to this point where it was like, is this even worth it? I'm trying to avoid a life that I don't desire by being out of shape, relationships, build a business, whatever it was. I'm trying to avoid that by doing these things. And yet I'm showing up to a life that I don't enjoy at all. And it was always this battle to continue to show up. And I built some discipline. I remember the big thing was always having that battle and struggling with long-term consistency and the way that I was showing up all the time with the discipline that I had built. And so I really struggled to make progress. And so the thing that I was 100% missing was meaning behind the discipline, because when you're doing it that way, there's nothing backing it. And that's what I want to talk about. But I'm just a dude who has found God. And those are the type of people that I like to listen to. When I started going back to church, the priest was a dude who was a priest. He wasn't some weirdo. When I fixed my knees, I learned from Knees Over Toes guy, who is a dude who fixed his own knee problems, not some doctor who had ever actually been through it and actually understood the things that I was dealing with. I had gone through years and years of knee pain. I had gone through double knee surgery that was supposed to fix everything, and it didn't. And I found the answers in some autistic dude on the internet. So I like to learn from dudes who have been through it. And I'm a guy who went through the self-improvement phase, found God, and found the exact thing that I was missing. I'm not somebody who could recite the verses that I go back to that is some sort of biblical scholar or anything like that. I know that I've built a deep connection with God, and it has completely changed my life. That's what I know. I know I like to listen to a lot of podcasts that do reference those things, people that are more knowledgeable than myself. Sacred Men podcast is a good one, but I'm just a dude, and this is kind of what I dealt with. And the takeaway is kind of as simple as I've already described it. I did all the things that you're supposed to do. For some context, I grew up on a farm. My dad is a personal trainer. This is the gym that he built. Never really had a problem with discipline. I always understood that, you have to show up. And so things were never too deep for me, right? I didn't have to have like a big reason or anything like that. I always understood that. When you're 10 years old, waking up to go on the farm to shovel shit on Saturdays early in the morning, and you don't have an option of whether or not you do it, it kind of instills in you that you show up no matter what. But as I started to be more around the normal world, I grew up on the farm, was kind of isolated there for a while. And as I went to college, got into my job and everything like that, I started to realize the mentality of the average person, and how there's not really much ambition or anything there at all. And that started to rub off a little bit. And so I knew I had to do something. I was doing all the right things is what I'm trying to get out of this, is that I grew up the right way. I moved out of my hometown when I started to get comfortable in my job. And this is me moving out of my hometown is where I really think about this, because that was supposed to be the thing, right? That's one of the big things in the self-improvement videos that you see. Get uncomfortable, get out of your own hometown. 100%. I would tell anybody to do that. It was the best thing that I ever did, but I would tell you to do it with God at this point. Because it wasn't until I moved back that I really started to get a connection with God. I brought a Bible with me when I moved out, and I would be in and out of it, but there really wasn't that building the connection, which is the most important part of all of it. And I remember when I was there, I built this mentality that I call the keep going mentality, because I would work 12-hour shifts, I would go straight to the gym. I would come home, make some food. I was working on music at the time, work on some music, and go to bed. But then the next day the reason I liked that job was the 12-hour shifts. All day was a work day. Then the next couple days were off days. Then the next day would be work on music all day. The next off day, try to work on music, play Rocket League all day. Couldn't even force myself to work on music, right? This constant push and pull. Good with the gym, good with the diet, good with working on music, because these were all of the things that I thought I should be doing based on the things based on the mentality that I had of wanting to earn freedom and to live the right way, right? I think a lot of us grow up knowing that we should be in shape, that we should be pursuing some sort of work that we actually care about. But this advice that I was trying to follow, that's all it was. There was nothing behind it. There was no meaning behind it because God wasn't there. And so that was the whole thing, was constantly just the push and pull of be good in the gym, be good on the diet, work on music for a while, make some progress on music, put a beat out there that gets a lot of plays on YouTube. People start to buy it. And then a few weeks of nothing because of this constant stop and start and can never build any sort of momentum, which is the thing that you need to be successful in really anything. And so I came back home for a while, got those double knee surgeries, got in the Bible. And I think the big difference between the way I do it and the way other people do it is they try to be very, very human with it, almost. They try to be very strict with the Bible and what it says and do everything correctly, which you absolutely should do. But I very much lead with my connection with God. I'm very deep in prayer. I think a lot. I've always been a very conscientious person, which I know now was always God. But that's how I have always been. Now that I've been much deeper in prayer and really honestly, truly trying to build this connection with Jesus, I think that is what has really changed everything. And so what you're going to find is that the things that you're doing are going to change very slightly as you build this connection with God. Let me back up. You don't do this for any reason. The only reason you do this is because it's the right thing to do, to build a connection with God and to have a relationship with Jesus, just because that's what you're supposed to do as a human, right? He gave you this life. You are supposed to try with the life that he gave you. You're already trying. You're trying to do the self-improvement stuff. You're trying to do it without him. And so I picked up the Bible. I learned that all the self-improvement advice that I was distracting myself with was really just taken from the Bible, which was written thousands of years ago. It was just some lesson pulled out of the Bible that the Bible had already addressed all of this stuff, right? It's already all in there. But the thing you get with the Bible is you also get a connection with God that comes with it, as long as you are doing your best to truly build that and get really deep in prayer and really build a deep connection with him. And so as you try, God will reward you for trying with clarity on the path that you have to take, the path that he has laid out for you, the one that he destined for you when he put you onto this earth, right? He made you very unique. And so his reward for you trying and connecting with him and trying to be authentic to yourself and not how the world tries to mold you, but being authentic to how he created you and trying with this life, how he rewards you is giving you clarity and meaning and knowing the next step to take on the path that he has given you. And that's what gives you the meaning and the purpose. And that is the exact thing that you are missing in this journey. It's the exact answer that you are looking for, is the meaning and the purpose. Since I started with this for the past few years, I wake up every day inspired to become the best version of myself, because it's on the path that I need to be on. And that it's such a different feeling, because that meaning and that inspiration has replaced what was the brute force battle with my mind to follow my diet, to show up to the gym, to work on music. That has been replaced by inspiration to take on the path that's in front of me and become the man that I have to become in order to get to that life. I think I really got into a flow state on this. I hope the intro was good enough to hook some people in because I finally got into what I actually wanted to say. So let me go back to that then. You don't do this for any reason. I started doing it because I knew it was the right thing to do. I wanted to get back to it. I grew up in a Catholic family, Christmas, Easter, and that's about it. But really wanted to get back into it. So I started reading the Bible, and not a lot happened for a while. And then me and the fiance started to go back to church, and that's when things started to get real. At first, I was like very skeptical, but I kept doing it for the right reasons. And then that turned into me really building a habit of getting into my Bible every day and really getting into the habit of praying every day. And this is when things really started to change. And it's this, like, God is not going to shout from the rooftops and tell you exactly what to do. But there are going to be times where you wake up at 3 a.m. and there's like a thought in your head that for some reason you just can't, you're like, there's something different about this thought. You know what I mean? It's not you, it's coming from him, and you're going to have to go and write it down. An example of this is I hurt my back like a week and a half ago. I haven't really been able to train. I've had to take off work for the last week and a half because it's pretty brutal. I have to address it. I am addressing it. But the point is that I've been off of work, and I woke up the next day after this injury with this thing in my mind that I had to create an app for some reason for the coaching business that I haven't even really gotten going yet, but I had to build the app and have it ready for the coaching business. And over the course of last week, I literally just submitted it to Apple to review, but it's just like for my one-to-one coaching. And like for the last week, I just learned from scratch how to use AI to build an app, and I have this whole like coaching app now. It was like this it was this thing that was like, why is this so, it was such a different thought. It's very interesting. You will have those moments. And that's my example for it, where there'll be these little things that you just have to do. It's very strange. But really overall, it'll be it's this very slow, just like it puts you onto the path. It's a very slow, everything just starts to fall into place because you're connecting with him, right? And he's rewarding you for that. And so this was around the time that I'd gotten my knee surgeries. I was really getting out of shape. And so I had gotten out of shape because of those knee surgeries, and I started connecting with him, and he got me to really focus on what I was doing and realize that I wasn't getting back into shape and I wasn't really showing up how I should have been. And then that continued. And then all of a sudden, at the beginning of the year, it was like, no, you're not in good enough shape yet. You need to like do this. And all of a sudden I had like this motivation and inspiration to get into the best shape of my life, but also mold my lifestyle into the exact way that I had to live it in order to get it just like as a natural way to do it. And now it's like, this is like my life. It's not just like a part of it as fitness. It's just like the way I'm staying active, the way I am eating has become a routine and a structure. The way that I'm training, it's all the same. Like, it has all become this like routine and structure to like exactly how I want to live my life. But even on the hard days, I absolutely have the discipline to do it because I know it's the right path, right? And so what I want to say there is that it's not much different than anything else like I knew or was doing before. It's like watch your diet, train in the gym, do cardio, right? But it's like those slight adjustments to all of those things. It's like, this is the exact way that I'm supposed to do it, and this is how I'm supposed to teach it to others, and all these things, right? It's like the right way to do it. And that's how God works. It's very simple and like, it seems almost too simple, but that's how it is, because it's the meaning, it's the inspiration that replaces the hardest parts of the journey without him. Right? Without him, you're missing that meaning. You're battling yourself. There's nothing behind it. It's the things that you should do because of the advice that you're getting. It's the things that you should do because of what other people are doing. And instead of that, it's a very authentic path of how you do things, whether it's relationships, work, whether it's fitness, whatever it is, becomes very authentic to who you are, because it's literally him laying out the path for you slowly over time as a reward for trying and for connecting with him. And so that's it. I think the biggest takeaway is that if you're in, because this is the thing that I remember, and I keep reiterating it, if you're in this spot where like you're trying to be disciplined. You know there's things that you should do as a man. And like, you know there's a person you need to become. And you're struggling so much with like the fight with yourself all the time. And like, it's such a bad, even because that still happens now. Like, I still wake up in the morning, and even though I have the same morning routine that I've done for the last freaking year or two or whatever it was, and it's very easy for me to go and do that now, I still wake up in my head and I'm like, oh, I want to go on my phone, but no, I go and do that. Like, it's very easy because it's a habit. I've built the discipline. I've become that person, right? It's still a little bit of a battle. But I remember back then, like, I would be in the middle of like the morning routine and I would be like, still like, I need to go do something. I don't care about this, right? Or I would finish the morning routine and I would still be like, that didn't even really get the payoff of like, I should have done that, right? Because it's not like the right morning routine that is in alignment with what works for you and how God wants you to do it, right? It's these little things. And that's the difference. That's the biggest thing. It's not a battle with yourself all the time. It is, even when it's hard, you know it is towards the right path. You know it is towards building you into the man that you need to become. And so the reason that self-improvement is BS is because you are taking all of the advice that the Bible gives in these little pieces, in books, in videos, in whatever, and it's all the same in the Bible, but you're taking out the whole soul of it, which is the connection with God, which is the most important part of all of it, right? And so it's really, the reason it's so horrible is because you're reading these books and watching these videos and you think you're doing it to learn something, but it's disguised as that, right? It's really just a way to get dopamine because you're not getting meaning out of the things that those videos and books are telling you. Even though those videos and books, the things they're telling you are really taken from the Bible originally, and the whole point is to combine that with the connection with God so that you get the meaning, and you're just stripping it away. And so that's the problem. And so the thing is, like, I wouldn't like take that away. I would just do it with God. If there's a way that this advice works for you and resonates with you in a way, yeah, do it. Still just do it with God. I'm the same guy. I replace my music when I'm driving, when I'm in the gym. I've replaced my music with podcasts that I like to listen to that is good advice from whoever, right? Chris Williamson, Andrew Huberman. There's the Sacred Men podcast that I found on YouTube somehow that I absolutely freaking love. There's Josh Howerton, whoever, whether it's biblical or not. What I would say is to just make sure you are applying this stuff with the connection with him, because that's where the meaning comes from. You still have to become the best version of yourself. You still have to learn things, right? You still have to build these character traits of discipline, of consistency, all these things, but you need to do it with him, with the meaning that he gives you on your specific path that he has for you. I would even go so far as to say that discipline is really a human word that we made up, and God doesn't really care for it. I don't know if that's too far though. I haven't figured that out, nor do I know if I ever will, but it just seems as though I wake up so inspired every day. And while I do still run into like, I don't want to go to the gym today because I'm tired after work, or I don't want to get up and do my morning routine. I just want to go on my phone. Even though I still do that, I still wake up late. I woke up late today because I didn't sleep at all the night before. I wake up late on certain days. I've just gotten to the point where like I can, whether it's God giving me that meaning or whether it's me actually building the habits, whatever it is, I find it just so much fun to fight off that fucking salesman in your head and to beat him and to do the thing anyway, instead of it being such a battle that really never has a payoff. And that's the biggest thing that I remember that was such a problem. And so if you're dealing with that, the answer is right in front of you. It's God. He's trying to talk to you. He's trying to reach you. There's nothing bad that can come out of it. All that you're going to get is meaning and the exact path that you need to be on, and inspiration in the journey, and the exact meaning that you're looking for. I remember my mentality was that I wanted to wake up and work on things and do things that I actually cared about, live a life that I actually looked forward to. And so I felt so confused when I was fighting with this discipline all of the time to give myself freedom, but I didn't actually enjoy it or feel like I got anything out of it or even got that freedom out of it and wasn't making progress. And the thing I was missing was God the entire time. So hopefully that helps. The self-improvement stuff, it's absolutely good. It's probably good advice. Just combine it with the actual meaning on your unique, specific path that is authentic to you. Hopefully that helps. As a man, you need to be in the best shape of your life. That's my coaching pitch. It's really self-improvement disguised in fitness coaching, if we're being honest. So if that's something that you need and you need to get into the best shape of your life, I'll put my Instagram down below. Hit me up down there. We can talk more about it, or you can just book a call below. We can talk about it, and yeah, we can go from there. Hopefully this helped. Thank you for watching.